try me?
Hell of a shot! Watch it. These pools don't just stink. They'll take a toe off.
If I fall in, you'll pull me out, right? Down they go! Here they come!
And that's how it's done, Captain? Go! Nice one! Get away!
the last of them.
FALLBROOK's on the other side of the bridge there if you need a drink. We're only halfway to the mountain, so might consider stopping in.
Trouble checking in? Or you might need directions to the amenities? If you're locked out of your cabin, a replacement key costs 50 bits. No reservation, no problem. Day trippers are always welcome in our saloon. Straight back and to the right. If you hit the falls, you've gone too far. Check in with Ms. Malin. I am here to anticipate and facilitate your needs, patron. You're looking for Ms. Malin. On an errand for the boss lady? That sounds ominous, yeah. Ms. Malin won't like that a whit. She's not but just down the way. A 10 to 1 says she's either pouring drinks or skinning a sprat in the saloon. Word to the wise, Ms. Malin don't take kindly to interlopers.
Time for a round of whist. Or a round of whiskey. Or both.
Take a gander at that mug. I ain't ever seen someone so adept-looking my whole life.
Watch yourself, Captain. This guy's got eyes like a sprat set on stealing your dinner.
Oh, now, come on. All I mean is, well, rather that, you don't seem like the usual pigeons we pluck. No offense, of course, if you are a Byzantium goldblood. Say, I'd like to do you a favor. Might I interest you in a surefire scheme? Wink, wink. Oh, I enjoy a good challenge. I'll get right to it then. Pure and simple, it's like this. I run our drug delivery service. Recently, I had the genius idea to cut costs in half by swapping our autoloaders with faster... See? I know a fellow genius when I clap eyes on him. Too right you are. Only problem is my sprat carriers ain't arrived from their latest run. As I was saying, you look more capable than most of the hoople heads around these parts. What say you locate him and retrieve the goods for me? In return, I'll cut you 5% of the profit. 35%? Are you out of your gourd? If I wasn't recovering from a bout of Margellans, I wouldn't stand for this. But things are what they are, so I'll agree to it. But not 0.5% more. My sprat carriers scurry back and forth through the shipping tunnels. Any trail ought to start there. When you've got the goods, I'll be here.
What do you think you're... Don't try nothing funny.
Hello?
I think for the price, I expected a larger top.
This is Reginald's stuff, all right, but... Sounds like Cheney's gone gold panning down on the river. I guess even scholars need to find ways to make ends meet in exile.
Want to make a run with me to Stella Bay? Boss lady told me to take the night off.
Nope. I'm beat. Just got back from that house with a strange fire.
Smell like raw meat and got splotches
Only
of
thing
blood on
worse
'em?
than the swill they're selling is the
Understand.
service.
They started ordering but all of them come from the CNC factory.
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group, Halcyon's premier provider. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind. It sure is. So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're running a special on dismemberment policies. Buy one, get one half off. We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Oh, it's certainly not about what I say. That's all down to our legal team and our CFO. Plenty. As my boss likes to say, there's a policy for every situation and an exclusion for every policy. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, usually character actors. That policy is almost exclusive in the unlikely event they make a claim about a product. Those are mostly for top-rungers. There's one for your beloved eloping with your sibling. We try to cover every possible hazard to domestic...
Halt. Search concluded. No dissidents found. Processing. Input action is not authorized.
Impressive, as always.
What do you think you're doing? Suspicion levels reset.
Hungry? I'm famished myself. No rubbernecking. Make a buy or move on.
You shopping for few bloody it? Town sublight owned and run. Caters to a variety of clientele. The one you want to avoid pissing off the most is Catherine. Prove bad for her business, and she'll kneecap you without a second thought. Yeah, and? Do I look like the city planner? But now that you mention it, I reckon she had her reasons to hide us. We got smugglers, outlaws, mavericks, and Byzantium socialites flying in and out of FALLBROOK all the time. Why openly spit in the board's eye? Take it you're one of them yourself. Well, if you don't learn nothing else...
Always imagined FALLBROOK would be... cleaner, fancier, stocked with better booze.
cheaper. I've emptied 14-bit carts in the last 2 hours.
That's because you've got a terrible tell. Whenever you're lying, your right eye twitches like mad.
Most certainly does not.
There it goes again.
Keep walking, Rung Leech. Not... What do you think you're doing? Just don't let me get you again, all right? Huh? Great work.
feeling like the civilized type, the waterfall's a good spot to wash your clothes.
Can I help you? Don't think we've spoken before. I would remember. You look, well, I wouldn't forget what you're wearing, no. Most of the freshies spend their first night in the saloon. Fresh to FALLBROOK, I mean. Me? I've been here going on 3 days. I'm real friendly. Figure I've talked up everyone in town by now. But not you yet. Every day I've been here has been my lucky day. Never won so much in my whole life. Aside from a close call during my wilderness hike, it's been a grand adventure. You heard that right. Wilderness almost got me pushing up daisies. If I wasn't so fleet-footed, I never would have escaped them raptidon. To outrun them, I had to ditch my bag. All the bit cards from my winnings were weighing it down. Well, Captain Cryley wanted to take a pit stop. It's my first shore leave with the crew, and my maiden voyage before that. You wouldn't have heard of them. They're just a small pot of smugglers. Kept getting their spoils stolen when they went to... So they hired on a merc. Captain, he does ask me to shut it sometimes. In fact, I probably shouldn't be flapping my gums about his crew at all. Captain warned us to take care around Devil's Peak. The bigger beasties tend to roam the slopes there. Mid-morning, I thought I'd try FALLBROOK's self-guided wilderness hike, the one that leads up around the mountain. Scarcely made it back in one piece. Look for the horns and you can't miss it. Even I saw them when we flew overhead. Massive curved stone peaks if you want to get technical. They're a part of the mountain terrain. Then, right then.
They do not produce derelict.
They do not produce derelict entertainment such as this. I assure you.
Here we go!
What do you want? Oh, hey, Vicar Max. What are you doing on Monarch? I thought scienticians ain't welcome here.
Haven't you heard? Everyone's welcome here. It's a fucking worker's paradise. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Never worked a day in your miserable life. You're just a parasite, living off my goodwill. Well, guess what? My goodwill's exhausted, along with my temper. This is the guy who told me about the book while we were in prison. I lied about finding a scholar. But I don't care about any of that anymore. I just want to inflict massive amounts of pain on this guy. Yes, that's about the long and short of it. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right. I was about to beat you. Severely.
Wait! I know who can translate the book for you.
It's too late for that. I threw away my life chasing fairy tales. Will punishing you fix any of that? Of course not. But by law, it will make me feel a whole lot better. Okay. Talk, Reggie.
It was stolen from some sort of expert on philosophism. Weird hermit lady on Scylla. My father used to deliver supplies to the mining outpost there.
I don't think so. A crazed hermit on Scylla? He's playing us for fools.
It's true. My father collected some extra bits on the side by diverting some of the supplies to the gal. The way he told it, he thought the book looked valuable, so he took it. Couldn't find any buyers when it turned out to not only be French, but banned as well.
Fine. We've got more important things to do anyway. Captain, could I have a moment of your time? I want to thank you for talking some sense into me back there with Cheney. It's been a long time since I gave in to my violent enthusiasm. You're right. I owe you an apology. I've been so obsessed for so long, I couldn't see anything else. You offered me a place on your crew. Friendship, and I used you to get to Cheney. And even then, you saved me from myself. I don't know if I could live with myself had I gone through with it. You owe me nothing, I know, but I'm Thank you. I promise I'll be nothing but truthful from this point forward. Oh, exactly as you'd imagine. Can't say I enjoyed the stint. The way I see it, the universe was snapping me back to where I needed to be.
Uh-huh. You blind, fella? Or can you not see I'm busy? Why is it every sissy pig fucker who strolls into my town expects me to smile and shout awful friendly? Welcome to FALLBROOK. Only nugget of paradise in this entire law-forsaken land. Like a void damn advert.
Crude but forthright. I admire that.
Truthfully spoken, I do aim to properly represent my aforementioned nugget of paradise. You know, I ain't heard that one before. Suppose I'll have to work harder to show you just what makes our town shine. But first, I'll need to know what brings you, stranger. Well, I'm half listening. Good of you to finally haul your ass over here. I wired for backup weeks ago. Got something that's gonna require special extraction from Cascadia. All right. One of my runners uncovered a cache of Alta Vitae gas, left in a lab when the board abandoned Cascadia. To extract the gas, you'll need to siphon it from the lab in Cascadia into one of your ship's fuel tanks. Totally safe. Do I look like one of them egghead science types? All I know is that labs use it to create plants and livestock out of local species. But it's a controlled commodity, available only to the board. Meaning safe for me and my crew, seeing as it ain't us undertaking the risk. I do like your gumption, but let's not be hasty. To get to the gas, you'll need to navigate through the town, which is overrun by marauders. The lab itself has become an infested nest, crawling with mantis. You gotta fight through or figure out some other way to exterminate.
And will again. We ought to be taking any opportunity we get to bury those critters in lead.
Direct and aggressive. I always did like your sensibilities. You know when to strike and when to wait. Shame what came of your crew.
Crews are for ships. They were a family.
Close enough. Now, after you clear the manti nest and reach the storage room, all that's left is to get the gas flowing into the fuel system. The task will require someone with technical skills. Or you could force it through with a plasma overload. Don't recommend that option, though, unless you want to get dead. Dandy. Did I mention the gas is of an extremely volatile nature? Handle it with the utmost of care. Once you've got our goods, take them to the groundbreaker. Lilia's fencers ought to handle the rest of it. I've marked the coordinates for you to the lab in Cascadia. Use the passcode Antediluvian on the terminal to get in. But before you make your run, I could use a heavy helping hand regarding a local issue. Good. This particular matter of opportunity has been eating at me for a while now. There's a Borst factory on up the way, run by a man who calls himself the King. Clive Lundberg, insufferable prick. That aside, it's a business ripe for the plucking. I want it. Clear as that. Stars, I hope so. Clive Lundberg, the self-proclaimed Borst King of Monarch, is swimming in profit and drowning in his ego. He's making the only meal to be had this side of Monarch, and I'm tired of ponying up for my dinner. And you're the soon-to-be handsomely paid son of a bitch who's gonna get it for me. Kill him, run him out. I don't rightly care for the details, so long as Clive knows resistance to me is costly and futile. Hit him where it hurts, and his gut or his production lines ought to make do. If you got brass knockers, you could shoot your way through the front gate. Might be another way in, assuming you're courageous enough to trek the sewers. Void if I know. Then I'd say you might care to poison the cysty pigs, doctor a few financial records, or throw a wrench in the canning machinery. It'll be more than good when you're finished. Maybe not for Clive, but for me and you, I'm sure. Oh, and if you don't fancy going in guns blazing or crawling through a sewer pipe, see Duncan in the Dry Goods and Sundry building. He ought to have an employee ID in that stash of illicit goods he keeps. May luck be with you, since I won't be.
Shh.
What do you think you're doing? I don't want any trouble out of you.
Catherine's great, ain't she? She'll pull you out of the sulfur, so... As long as you don't mind being in her debt.
Efficient. Clever. Ruthless. I like her.
Said you docked 3 days ago?
You seen Arthur today?
Did you find them? Tell me you found my my sprat carriers. Would hate should anything dire have befallen them. Seeing as how that statement is wink-free, I am madder than a mantis swarm, and ready to bite somebody. You want your cut? You get me the rest of my drugs, no matter what it takes.
No, but thank you. I'm quite all right as I am. Oh, you're still here. I said I don't require anything at this time. Deal? A rather bad one indeed. The fella swore Fallbrook was unrivaled in its leisurely pursuits. But it seems to me the whole town is designed primarily to leech one's bits. And now that I've run dry, or nearly so, the fellas have abandoned me back to Byzantium. Don't suppose I could just ask you to scram.
Miss Minnie Malin, get your twitchy whiskers back here. Close the damn door. You'll let my sprats out. Damn it all. Now look what you done. It'll take me ages to round him up again. State your purpose, or get out of my face, domicile intruder. Missing? Nope. Nope. Mine are all found and accounted for, thank you kindly. Now if that'll be all, I've got an animal rescue service to oversee, and it ain't easy. Look, I don't care if Nilsson sent you or not. You won't be hurting a hair on any of these sprats' heads. Back out of this domicile, hands up, or become sprat food, intruder. You want to dig through sprat droppings? Be my guest. Get your drugs, then get lost.
Got the goods? You do? I mean, you do! Of course you do! What did I tell you? Sure-fire delivery system. Works almost every time. Right, right. In my excitement, I very nearly forgot. As promised, your cut, plus a little extra to show my gratitude. Now, if there's nothing else you need from me, I must go inventory my... Hit me. Wow. You're either an extremely important person. Either way, you'll find Miss Catherine Malin's... Miss Catherine Malin is one tough lady. Show her a bit of backbone, and I swear she'll like you more for it. Sure it is.